Hi friends, my name is Emily and welcome back to my channel. Okay, so absolute word salad just came out of my mouth. I am going to be doing a video that I saw Jen Campbell do. I will link the video down below so that you can see what inspired this video. She went through some of her old book haul videos and commented on whether or not she had actually read those books, and I thought it would be interesting to do the same because I, over the past like six or 7 years, can't remember when I started, haven't done a lot of book hauls. I haven't filmed a lot of book hauls. That doesn't mean that books aren't coming in, but I tend to not film them because they come in drips and drabs and I just review them in mid-month wrap-ups rather than specifically hauling them. Every once in a while, when there's enough books that come in at one time, I do film a haul, and I was curious, had I read any of the books from my very first haul, which was in 2015. And so taking inspiration from Jen, that is what I'm about to do. What did I achieve? Did I read any of those books? We are going to open up to this screen and we're just gonna take a look at my playlist. So I have a hauls and unboxing playlist. Let's go to the very first one, which is August 2015.
Hi guys, my name is Emily, and today I am going to be doing a haul which is more for me than for you. You will probably enjoy it because for some reason BookTube seems to love hauls, but it is for me so I can see while I'm editing this that I have too much and I need to stop buying. If you've been watching this channel for a while, you know that I'm trying to do a read 5 buy 1. Which I was relatively successful with up until this past month when I quit my job and suddenly discovered that I had lots and lots of free time to do what? Used book shopping. I have them sorted by where I have purchased them from, and I have actually read some of these and I will point out what I've read, but I will quickly share with you what I have purchased from where. So
Okay, first of all, it is hilarious to see myself like so blonde, so young. At this point I wore contacts almost exclusively because I still had, like, this is before I entered a period of having like no medical coverage, like no health benefits, and so like I was still buying contact lenses. It's just alarming to see.
Starting with The Kraken Wakes by John Wyndham. I picked this up from I
have not read this book yet.
So from City Lights, I purchased Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban.
So this Harry Potter and the Prisoner of Azkaban copy I obviously have read. It was a replacement for one of my original copies that fell apart. White Teeth I read not that long ago. I feel like in 2020 during the pandemic.
Then I have another
I have also not read Consider Her Ways by John Wyndham. It's a short story collection.
Did read some Coetzee in my last year of university, Waiting for the Barbarians, and I really enjoyed it. So when I found this at City Lights,
I think I actually unhauled Foe because I hadn't read the inspiration story. I hadn't read the story that inspired it, so I decided to unhaul it.
Picked up Pygmalion by Bernard Shaw. I went to see Pygmalion in Niagara.
So I also haven't read Pygmalion. This is not off to a good start.
That is from City Lights. Also in London, there is a Goodwill, and because the Goodwill is kind of close to the university, a lot of the books there are quite literary, I guess. Like, I recognize a lot of things from certain courses, like really obscure books that you probably wouldn't find in a Goodwill normally, ended up in this Goodwill because of its proximity to the university. So I picked up a beautiful hardcover of Zadie Smith's Northwest.
I haven't read this one yet. I have not read Northwest by Zadie Smith.
So I picked up Written on the Body and Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, and I have read this. I really enjoyed it, and there will be a review coming up for this. Editing Emily again. So a fun fact about the Written on the Body review is that it seems to have been included in some sort of online English learning course. So many people from Germany specifically comment with like their class name and number in that video. The funny thing is, at one point I was approached by a textbook manufacturing company who asked my permission to use this video, and I said no. They weren't going to pay me for it, they just wanted to give me like credit and
credit me in this textbook. It's so many years ago. I don't know if they went ahead and put my video in anyways. I have to go through the comments of that video and follow up with some of the German folks who are tagging the course. I want to see if it's the same online learning course and then go through my email and see if it is in fact those people that I said no to. I don't know what I'm going to do with it, but I would just like to know for my own sake if it is the people that approached me and I said no to. So I've also read Written on the Body, which is also excellent. And like, if you are at all interested in Jeanette Winterson, like I feel like a lot of people have read Oranges Are Not the Only Fruit, but if you're interested in her body of works, Written on the Body is also excellent.
And I also picked up the Penelopiad by Margaret Atwood.
This is before Margaret Atwood did some of her particularly terrible things. I still own a copy of this book, and I am keeping it in what I call the penalty box because I really like Margaret Atwood as a writer, but I have some issues with her as a human. At this point, I had attended the talk that she gave at the University of Western Ontario, which I just graduated from at this point in 2015. I was like a year out of my undergrad, and I was in a gap year between this point. I would have been about to start my master's at McMaster University, so she was not super nice. And then also much later, the UBC Accountable scandal happened, in which Stephen Galloway was, I believe it was Stephen Galloway, was accused of being gross and abusive of his power with students in the creative writing program, and the big name celebrity Canadian authors, including Margaret Atwood, came forward and stood up for Stephen Galloway, like, I know him, he could never abuse his power. How could the person who wrote The Handmaid's Tale also not believe victims? Like, I don't know, it was very, like, incongruous, and then she doubled down on it, so I put all of her books that I still owned into the penalty box, and I haven't touched them, and I have to decide whether or not I want to keep them. Again, because I'm somebody who reviews books online, there's been a lot of conversations lately around who you platform. While Atwood is alive and benefiting from any purchases that happen, I do not want to support her.
So I got 2 Agatha Christie's because I really enjoyed And Then There Were None by Agatha Christie.
I haven't read either of those Agatha Christie's.
So I have The Mysterious Mr. Quinn and The Murder on the Orient Express. I found a copy of The Taming of the Shrew, which the Stratford Festival is currently putting on, and if I can still get tickets, I'm not sure if I can, I would love to see this.
I didn't read Taming of the Shrew, and I believe I unhauled it. I didn't get tickets to see it that summer either.
And so I found Divisadero by Michael Ondaatje.
I tried reading this, and I believe I unhauled it. I don't think it's still in my collection, and if it is, it would be a surprise to me because I could not get into this.
I also picked up Bridget Jones' Diary by Helen Fielding.
This I have read. I believe I enjoyed it. I think I might have a review for this, like a dedicated review.
Because I heard Ronlit mention this.
Ronlit! Oh, I love Ronlit. I was so sad when she stopped making videos. She, when I first started BookTube, was one of my absolute favorites. One of the first people I encountered. She was Canadian. She was attending McMaster University. I believe she did her PhD in Toronto. And I think because of the professional career that she was building, she just stopped booktubing, but also not only stopped booktubing, she took away a lot of her videos. Like, she privated them and took them down, which was so sad because I got so much joy out of her videos. She just had a way of just this delightful, hilarious way of talking about classic literature that made me want to read it. I picked up Moby Dick because of her. I still haven't read it, but like, she talked about how Moby Dick was super gay, and I was like, all right, I went in on this gay classic. So I loved her. I don't know if you can still find any of her videos online. It hurts my heart to see that, like, I was still watching her at the time and she's gone now.
I picked up Looking for Alaska by John Green. I did read this. There will be a review coming out for this.
So, like I said, I did read Looking for Alaska by John Green. It was one that I had read before, but I had borrowed a copy, I think from a friend, if not the library, like our school library. I actually don't know if I followed through and actually edited and published that review, because that was a thing that I did a lot. Was when I first started booktubing, I was filming review videos for every book I read and just could not keep up with it. I read more than I had time to film and read, so I honestly don't know if I did that, and if it did, if it's still public, but I think I have a little bit more criticism of John Green the longer I've read his works and sort of sat in that young adult space.
I also picked up The Winter's Tale by William Shakespeare.
That I did read for what was at the time called the Booktubeathon.
I picked up Girl Meets Boy by Ali Smith.
Girl Meets Boy by Ali Smith I have read, and it is also phenomenal. And I ended up reading it with a book club, and like overwhelmingly we all enjoyed this book.
A Norton Critical Edition, I have Persuasion by Jane Austen here.
I haven't read this yet.
A Girl is a Half-Formed Thing by Amir McBride.
I tried reading this. Again, a booktuber who doesn't exist anymore, Baz Pierce. Hilarious, super sarcastic. I believe also in touch with Ron Lit, if I remember correctly. Baz Pierce made hilarious videos. Again, I don't know if any of his videos are still public. He gave this a glowing review, and I thought, well, I'll try it, and I could not get into it, and I unhauled this. Some of these things, it's interesting because of the booktubers that I was watching at the time. It definitely wasn't my style or my academic interest, my reading interest, but it was something that somebody had talked so passionately about that I wanted in on it.
Then I treated myself to the Mistborn box set because
I didn't know I hauled this long ago. I just earlier this year dipped into the Mistborn trilogy for the first time. Like, words. I did not know that I was holding on to this for so long. Like, it's been 6 years since this was recommended to me, and I picked it up. I'm shocked. I'm absolutely shocked how long ago this was.
I also picked up for Today I'm a Boy by Kim Fu. I'm going to be attending McMaster University in the fall.
So I did read this. I did attend that event. I think I would have different opinions on this book now. I feel like 2015 was pre-conversations about own voices being a really big deal, but this is not an own voices trans novel that became very popular in this time period. I don't know how I would feel about that if I were to pick it up in 2021, doing a lot of research, listening to a lot of trans voices, following a lot more folks in the queer community online. I don't know how I would feel about this book, and if I would even pick it up in 2021.
Something that wasn't so worth it. This was $5.99.
I was reading through the Throne of Glass novels because I was thinking about maybe including them in my MA thesis project. This was before I'd actually started my master's. I had no idea, like, scope of a project. I pitched way too much, but I was reading through these thinking, oh, like maybe I'll be able to draw on these because they're like more contemporary than some of the other series that I was looking at. So I did read this. I have read this.
Then I also picked up The Hen Who Dreams She Could Fly by Sun Mi Huang.
I have read this. It's okay. I think I picked this up by accident. It sounded similar to something that somebody else recommended on one of the booktube channels that I was watching at the time, and when I like misremembered the title, picked this up, and then it is what it is. It's not a book that really stands out at this point.
And another thing that I picked up because of the lovely Jen Campbell is A Tale for the Time Being by Ruth Ezeki.
I read this last year, maybe March or April of 2020. This is phenomenal. So that was my first haul. It's funny, I have some of these still. I haven't read them. I didn't realize that I was holding onto these things for so long. I also find it fascinating to see how quick I'm speaking. Like, not that I'm a particularly slow talker now, but when I first started YouTube, it rewarded the 3 to 4 minute video. There weren't any mid-roll ads. Basically, YouTube rewards you for being at least 10 minutes long now because of the ad potential. At the time, the algorithm rewarded people who were able to produce really tight content. And I mean, if you think about it, how do you adequately review a book in 3 minutes? And it's funny because so many of the comments I get on these early videos are like, where are the review? Like, people are watching in 2021. The feedback on these earlier videos is like, why are you talking so fast? Like, I thought I had my time setting set to double time. It's like, no. I was trying to fit so much information into such a condensed time. It wasn't possible. And like, I'm looking through this playlist and like the next haul is in November of 2016. It's 4 minutes. I split up the January 2016 into 2 because nobody would watch a 20-minute book haul in 2016. Now you see people hauling for like 40 minutes and you're like, yeah, I'll sit for this. It's bananas to see how YouTube has changed. This was also before I went and put a list of books in the description box. So I can't actually go through and count up what I read and what I haven't read. So I hauled 27 books in this haul. 13 of them I have read, 4 I have DNF'd and unhauled or unhauled without reading, and 10 I have left unread. It occurred to me after I'd stopped filming, I uploaded the footage, that it might be nice to actually look at the pile, like look at what I hauled in my very first haul and then never got around to reading. Northwest by Zadie Smith, Margaret Atwood's The Penelopiad, Jane Austen's Persuasion. Last 2 books in this Mistborn box set are Consider Her Ways and Others by John Wyndham, The Kraken Wakes by John Wyndham, The Mysterious Mr. Quinn by Agatha Christie, Pygmalion by Bernard Shaw, and Murder on the Orient Express by Agatha Christie. Here's the thing. I have plans to buddy read this with a coworker. We've already talked about how Margaret Atwood is on my penalty box list, and honestly I feel like once she dies and platforming her doesn't result in like pennies in her pocket, I will feel more comfortable reading her works and talking about them online again. So we're gonna put her aside. A lot of these are quite petite. Do I set myself up for a vlog? I think I might do that. I think I might set myself a vlog where I attempt to read the books in my first ever book haul. So like try a chapter vlog, either decide to read, DNF and unhaul, or just if I have no desire to pick it up in that vlog, maybe it's time to part ways with it. Let me know in the comments down below if you would be excited to see a vlog like that. Back to past Emily with the outro. This was kind of fun. This was kind of weird. A little bit surreal to see my old room, the way my shelves used to be set up. Thank you patrons for allowing me to set aside time to do this work, to make videos, to edit videos, to close caption videos. It really means a lot that you are able to support me in this way, that you are able to allow me to continue to make videos. I hope you're all doing well, I hope you are staying safe, and I will see you again soon with another video. Bye!